that. Oh, turn this off. And we gotta shut this off. No, sir, you're not getting that yet. Not yet. Okay, I'm gonna chat up. All right. Sweet. All right. Just kind of wait a few minutes here. Hi. I'm here to help answer questions. So I see that I was right about Mr. Biden going off to the wayside this weekend. They still got to play a card yet. They got a sleeper, meaning that they got somebody else in their pocket. We'll see. Right ankle re-injury during full moon. Tessa, that means that you aren't letting things go so you can move on. You want to kind of stay stuck. What stones do I recommend with vertigo? Oh, Cindy, that's a rainbow fluorite, especially purple fluorite, but rainbow fluorite. Purple fluorite. That's the one you want. Looking for a job. Haven't had no luck. This is because I'm not moving forward with what you are meant to do. That's right. You're looking at, so Victoria, and this happens a lot, is that people look for what they're good at or what they have experience in, not necessarily that it has anything to do with their life purpose. And so I would ask you, what would be, what do you think would be a job that you would love to go to every single day, despite what other people might say about it? So that's where I would be having you look. But a lot of people, like I said, this one right here, a lot of people have been having the vertigo, the dizziness, the kind of brain fog. And I've been telling you, get your ass outside, get your feet to the earth and ground down a little bit. That's really going to help. All these shifts of energies that have happened, it's blowing open your solar plexus, your third eye, and your crown. That's why you have the tummy aches along with it. But when all of those open up rather quickly and you're not grounded or prepared, it's going to throw you off 100%. So that's where a lot of this dizziness is coming from. So I've been telling people, stay hydrated, make sure that you're really, really grounding hard. Like I said, feet to earth outside, back up against a tree, spend some time in the basement, eat your root vegetables, listen to, music that deals with your root chakra. So, but yeah, we got, that's been kind of par for the course. A lot of people have been super, super dizzy. Could not pull an abscess tooth because of high blood pressure. Ash, that's probably true. And I'll tell you, try to get that out as soon as possible, because that's really close to your blood-brain barrier, and that's scary shit. So hopefully they're giving you some antibiotics too. Visitation dream from somebody still alive. That happens, Daria. And actually it's you guys are astral traveling and you happen to be at the same space-time reality. So my daughter visits me a lot. When she dreams a lot, she'll show up in my dreams too. And I'm like, get out of here. And then the next day she's like, hey, remember that dream? I'm like, yeah, you were there. So she has a tendency to do that a lot. So I'm like, just stay in your own place. Friend has an open cancer on her right shoulder, working on healing it holistically instead of surgery. Is this a positive way to treat this? You know what? To each their own. So, and I will tell you that if I were diagnosed with cancer, I wouldn't do chemo or radiation either. I would look at all of my options first, both alternative and medical. And I think that if the alternative community and the medical community could work together, there wouldn't be anybody that would be sick or ill anymore. Therefore, they wouldn't need pharmaceutical companies. And yeah, you know how that goes. So that's a big one. This is a good one. Elena's talking about dreams about her partner cheating. That has everything to do with your insecurity within the relationship. You don't think that you're worthy enough. You don't think that you're good enough. And you probably have had a dad that abandoned you as well. And so that is a reason why you will kind of repeat that pattern. It's a trauma response because more than likely your dad died early on when you were younger or wasn't there for you. Let me see. Crohn's disease is for people that they have a hard time stomaching like the past, present, and the future. They either think about something repeatedly over and over, the bad that happened to them a long time ago, or a lot of times Crohn's that I've noticed has a lot to do with childhood trauma, feeling like you were never good enough or you were to be seen and not heard, or yeah, type of stuff. So best thing for pain, Epsom salt. Epsom salt baths, at least a cup of Epsom salt baths really, really helps a lot with that one. So best friend dying of brain cancer this entire last month. Would have thought she was going to pass, but then wakes up and wants to eat and drink 2 or 3 days of not. What's all this about? Sometimes when people are getting close to crossing over, they kind of have a bit of a lucid moment, and then they go backwards and go backwards quickly. So it could be just, and that happens where it's like your health gets better, then it goes back, and then it gets a little bit better, then back farther, and it just like you can't catch up with it. Liz, I'll tell you, if you're going to have surgery, just make sure that the surgery is not going to be in a Mercury retrograde. I'll tell you, don't schedule a surgery in a Mercury retrograde. Can people mistake seeing a being in a time slip or other dimensions as ghosts? Yes, you can. And that's really, really hard to tell. I mean, and it's sometimes you'll get like astral travel or step into a different time warp. So that can happen too. But yes, it absolutely can. It can happen. So Nicole, no, that is not a twin flame separation because twin flames don't separate on Earth. A true twin flame relationship doesn't separate. You come together because you're twins, because you're like energy, and you will immediately do that. You don't play games. You don't. That's not a twin flame. So anything to do with pancreas, Emily, has everything to do with criticism. So meaning that you're either very critical about yourself or your partner is very critical and talking to you like they criticize all the time. So crystals for seizures, Andrea, rainbow fluorite, probably rutilated gold quartz and gold rutilated quartz, and I'd probably go with bloodstone on that one. I'm just gonna answer this with something big coming soon. There's a lot of shit coming. Like, we don't know. So like I said, there's 4 different avenues that things could happen with, and we're just waiting for them to play out. So just understand, we are an election year, which we know this, but every election year they will try to separate us. This year they're going to do it with politics. Are you blue or are you red? And I'm just going to tell you, don't play into the game. Don't let them separate you through politics. Don't let them do that. So like I said, I'll listen to people's opinions, but you won't hear me give mine. So because it's irrelevant, it doesn't matter. To each their own. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. If you don't like what's happening, then do something about it. But posting your opinion on a social media platform isn't going to get you anywhere. Neither is fighting with your family. So this, like I said, it happens every 4 years. They try to divide us. Don't play the game. Just don't play the game. But yeah, I am going to answer this one, Kelly. I don't think people are so scared right now because they don't know what's going to happen in the future. And I'm going to tell you that no matter what happens, we are all going to be in it together. So it doesn't matter if you want to hurry up and hoard your food now or later. It doesn't matter if you want to get your water now or late. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we're all going to be in the same predicament. So if all of our money goes away and Nezra kicks in, great. We're all in the same predicament. If we all have a massive recession and everybody loses their jobs, great. We're all in the same position. So don't feel like you need to hurry up and gather everything, because again, we don't know what's going to happen. And I'm saying that as a psychic, but I will not put more fear into our spiritual community that's already out there. There's already way too much, so much fear, so much fear. Oh my God, what if this? Oh my God, I had a vision of that. Oh, I had a dream about this. Oh, my spirit guides told me that. And I'm like, I'm not going to sit there and spread more bullshit fear into our society. I'm going to tell you that no matter what's going to happen, you chose to incarnate in this time space reality. You chose to be here during this really messed up time. But understand that in order for something to take place, in order for something to become beautiful, sometimes we need to put it in a chrysalis. Sometimes things have to change. And that's what's going to happen, is that things are going to change. Whether it's good or bad is irrelevant. Change is still that. Change will adapt accordingly. So, like I said, I've just been trying to tell people, I'm like, don't get all buying into the fear, because law of attraction is still at play. So what do you want to see? When you're going to bed at night, be very mindful about what you want to see or what's in your head. Because remember, the last 5 minutes of your day and the first 5 minutes of the day are going to determine the next 24 hours. So, is it a good time to adopt a dog from the Humane Society? Yeah, actually it is. Yeah, actually it is. So got husband, tiger eye, and raw Alexandrite. Oh, the Alexandrite would zip him. And Shannon, on my live sale this weekend, I do have some of those carnelian flames that you were kind of thinking about. Hang on. Do we believe that we derive from the Anunnaki? The Anunnaki and other stuff. Yeah. So other breeds too. So can animals choose their human? Yes. Yes, they do. People that have been, like I said, I'm going to say this again. There's been a lot of migraines, headaches, dizziness, vertigo with the last couple shifts that we've had. Get your ass outside, and your OCD / anxiety / perfectionism issues are the reason why we have headaches and migraines. When you feel a spirit but don't know what they are trying to communicate, Danielle, that's okay. So understanding that you're naturally clairsentient, which is the ability to feel, right? So I want you to kind of go into that, because you're trying to figure out like what they're saying and what they look like and what they're saying. Well, maybe your clairvoyance and your clairaudience isn't on yet. So use what you got. Is it a male or a female? Do they feel old or young? Do they feel like a mom or a grandma? Do they feel like a sister? Like, use that and work with that. Work with that. Start there. Start there. Insomnia for this weekend, by the way, totally normal. Whenever there's a full moon, nobody sleeps in a full moon. Nobody enlightened sleeps in a full moon. And if they do sleep, they're sleeping for either 2 to 3 hours or they're sleeping 12. Like, it's A or B. Anxiety has been off the charts. Again, that's all fear. Fear. Scared of this, scared of that. What if this? What if that? Scared. I'm like, meditate, would you? Meditate. So, and Kathy's asking, will I ever stop drinking? Yeah, you're going to stop drinking when you deal with the abandonment issue that you've had with men throughout your life. So why don't you go to counseling and deal with the abandonment issue that you have with men and your codependency issue, because it boils down to how you were raised or lack thereof by your father. Deal with that issue, then you can deal with the alcohol. But until you deal with the actual trauma and the bullshit, you're not going to get better. That's just being real. That's being real. So like I said, that's a serious abandonment issue. And then your husband probably left you, and now your son's probably not talking to you, and you think everybody leaves you. Well, they don't, but the common denominator is you and your outlook and your response or your reaction to it. That's the problem. That's the problem. Meditation workshop. I don't have really much because, like I said, my website hopefully will get launched here in August. So instead of doing workshops, I'm actually going to have videos to where you guys can just go to my website and just watch a meditation video. It's kind of like on demand. So creepy skin. Vicky, that has a lot to do with lack of nutrition, especially the minor ones like B6 and iron and manganese, stuff like that. So, and then the other part of it is hydration. So. Trisha's asking, why do you sabotage certain relationships? That has everything to do with how you were raised by your parents, more than likely, especially how you were raised. Like if you're having issues with men, well, then let's look at how you were raised by your dad. If you have issues with women, let's look at how you were raised by your mom, because you are you're getting them before they can get you. You're getting them before they can get you, and that is a fear-based response. So. Is a chinchilla a good pet for a young kid? Steven's got one. He's had one for 3 years. Paige has a guinea pig. She still has this damn guinea pig, and it's 8 years old. It's an old guinea pig. But yeah, both of them are good pets for both kids. Hedgehogs are too. Probably not for him though. Dreamt I was pregnant and the child pregnant with extreme meaning. Linda, that has everything to do with you moving on from that relationship or moving past that relationship and starting a relationship completely differently in a different direction. That's a really good sign for me. That's a good sign. Are dowsing rods safe? Every tool is safe. You just have to know the rules. And when I say that, basically, it's just like say a protection prayer before you do any divination tool. And then number two, who the hell are you talking to? You want to talk to your highest good? You want to talk to angels? You want to talk to spirit guides? Like you kind of have to be particular on who you want to speak to. So, but the biggest one is like I said, not having that protection. Company takeover, already having challenges with a new supervisor. He's disrespectful and rude. How to handle this or not worth it? For now, not worth it. Just wait. But like I said, there's boundaries he can't cross that you should call him out on if that's the case. But with a merger like that I'm sure everybody's just stressed out. So, Marianne, I'm going to talk to you about this one here. Spiritual growth had been on the roof, and then last year meditation mediumship, not feeling really connected. Now you're not. This is normal. There are weeks or months that I don't feel connected either. That's being real. That's being normal. You can't be spiritual 24/7 all the time. If you you chose to be in this time space reality. Reality meaning key, meaning that there are times that you will not be connected because you need to deal with your human shit down here. So, and the minute you deal with your trauma, your shit, whatever you got on your plate, the minute you deal with it, oh, look, you get connected again. So sometimes if we get like disconnected or we feel like lost and we're not gaining any ground, you're put on pause. And I've learned that everything comes in divine timing. But when I get put on pause like that, it's a timeout break for Kelly, meaning that I need to get my personal shit done. Because if I can't do my job, there's a reason why they're tapping me out of that, because I got a job to do here. So, but that's absolutely normal. Okay. Don't feel like you lost everything you've learned. You didn't. It's just like riding a bike. You'll pick up the bike when the bike arrives. In the meantime, you got to stay put with what you're doing, and you got some grind work that needs to get done. Usually. Does Mercury retrograde affect relationship communication as well? It affects all communication. All. And I am going to guess, here's my guess, psychic prediction, whatever. I'm willing to bet money that this Mercury retrograde is going to wreak absolute freaking havoc on all electronics. So if you have a cell phone, if you have a computer, back your shit up before Mercury starts here. So I highly suggest you get things on flash drives, back everything up on the cloud, be good that way. Because I'm telling you, the way that this energy is happening, this, I'm like, no, because we're already in like a little bit of a, I'll say a little bit of a war, a tizzy. And it's not with Russia, it's actually with China. That's why we're having so many technology issues, because think about it. Do you really think we're going to do things with guns and like weaponry? No. If we're going to if we're going to fight somebody now, we're going to take their communication systems down. We're going to take down their computers. We're going to take down their cell phones. Right? So that's what's happening. But I just have a funny feeling with Mercury retrograde on top of what's going on. Back your shit up. Back your shit up. Just now's the time. If you're going to purchase more stupid iCloud space, damn it, now's the time to buy it. I don't like telling you that, but bah. With being spiritual, how can you protect your kids that are too young to really understand? You don't have to anymore. Now, when my kids were younger, I had to. Nowadays, you don't have to. They will come to you with some shit that you're just like, what did you just say? Like, they're going to come up with stuff that's pretty amazing. So, but like I said, they understand it probably better than you. That's why our kiddos are here to teach us. Thoughts on the L-methylfolate plus? Yes. You don't want the cyclamen, you want the methylfolate type stuff. So, yep, that's a good one. That's one you want. Good time to get a generator for the house. I do have one. Yep. Best crystal protection from others trying to steal your power or have control over you. Erica, anything obsidian. Black obsidian, snowflake obsidian, gold sheen, silver sheen. Any obsidian. Any obsidians are going to be a good one. So, been strongly considering leaving the rat race, starting your own business. Is this a wise move to start making the transition? Yes. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Permission? So I'm like, no. And what you're going to do is you're going to do your day job because you got to eat and pay bills. And then you got the side hustle over here. And when the side hustle gets to going well enough, you promote it, you advertise it, you market it, you do what you're supposed to do. Well, then maybe you can go more part-time on that day job and go more part-time here, and then eventually leave this one to go here. So I'm like, again, why are you waiting? Get going. Absolutely get going. Crystals for a UTI, June, usually carnelians are going to be the best one for that one. But ultimately UTIs are for people who are pissed off at their partner, usually. How do women get their hormones in check after a lot of stress and trauma? It takes time, Elle. It takes time. So like I said, self-care. So lots of self-care. So plantar fasciitis, left foot, what does it mean? Kristen, it means that you have a hard time with spiritual concepts. You have a hard time because you're very logical, more than likely. So religion, you're going to be contemplating. You're going to be contemplating moving forward with a spiritual decision or having issues with your mom. So, but basically, it's kind of stubbornness. Had a dream losing my job. Is that coming true? Probably not, Amber. If you normally precognitive dream, meaning that you have a dream and it comes true, then I would tell you to worry. But if you've never had ones like that, don't sweat it. This is a good one. What should I be doing after I wake up at 3? Between 2 and 4 a.m. is the best time to talk to your spirit guides. That is the best time to gain information, best time to meditate. It really is the best time to have that nice spiritual connection because you're really not thinking a whole lot. You're more in that meditative state. So good. That's good. So do I have suggestions on workbooks or shadow work abandonment with the father? Brenda, your best bet is to get a counselor because it's a counselor's job to help you look at things from different perspectives, right? And I would tell you the best way I would tell you to look at it is really look at how your dad was raised by his parents. And then ask yourself if your dad really could have done any better, because probably couldn't have because of how he was raised. and how his outlook was. Normal to hear voices of those you know, even though they're not around, they're still living, most recently been occurring. Trevor, it does happen on the occasion. And a lot of times when I hear spirit, they're not even my spirit guides. They might be somebody else's spirit guides, but they sound very similar to me. They're like, well, it's not my dad, it's not my brother, but it's real similar. So that's almost always just how they kind of talk, but our brain wants to associate the noise with somebody. So, and that's really common. But yeah, it does happen, and it probably won't go away. So ask them if you want to have them differentiate a little bit more. So like angels for me sound a little different than spirit guides because I asked them to. So I can tell the difference between the two of them. So I would tell you, I don't really sleep on my grounding mat, but I have grounding sheets that I just got in. I haven't tried them out yet. But my grounding mat is what I usually use when I need to, focus and I got like a headache or something like that. So, but usually I'll use my grounding mat more in the wintertime. Otherwise, I'm outside. I'll go outside a lot more. If you're smelling cigarette smoke and nobody smokes in the house, it's almost always going to be from a loved one. Almost always. So keep waking up. Present scares you extremely, or see a black shadow next to the bed. Happy more recently. Andrew, you need to sage. Time to sage. Sage yourself first, then sage your house or your apartment. And yeah, it's going to billow smoke like a son of a bitch, but you need it. So do that first, and that should knock everything out. Let's see here. Bought my wife one of the grounding mats from your store. Best place to use? Oh no, just plug it in. Plug it on the inside, Brian. So like I usually have mine right where I sit normally. So I plug it in right there and then I'll sit down on it. So no, you can do those inside. Thoughts on somatic yoga? Hell yes, great for release. That's especially emotional releases. Yes. You want me to describe how to sage? So basically what you're going to do is you're going to get a shell, and then I don't like the bundles because they don't stay lit. So then I'll unbundle it, light it up, and I'll say something like, God, angels, please fill this house with love and light. Anything not serving me or my family's highest good must leave now. I'm going to sage myself. I'm going to sage. Usually I start at the front door, and then I just kind of do one big circle upstairs, one big circle downstairs, open up the windows, air it out. Good to go. Good to go. So Sandra is like, been feeling like there's a dark cloud above me, had so much bad luck, nothing keeps getting better. Sandra, that's because you don't know what it is that you want with life. If I were to ask you, what are your goals, ambitions, or dreams? You might have one. So, and that's the problem. It's because you know what everybody else wants. You don't know what you want. That's the problem. So why don't you start there? And second of all, nobody has more power over you than you do. You like to give your power away and have somebody else make the decisions for you. That's another problem you got. Do I use dragon's blood with sage? Not usually, Boone, because I'm not a big dragon's. I don't like the smell. So, but I will mix in lavender, a little bit of palo sometimes. It really is more like a flavor, but I'm not a big dragon's blood person. But I know certain people are. I'm like, hey, whatever floats your boat. Whatever floats your boat. Anything you can do to rebuild enamel or repair gums? Yes, it's called hydroxyapatite. It's on my Amazon store. So hydroxyapatite is what it's called. Can you sage with the windows already open in the house? Yeah, I've done that. Yeah. See, I keep seeing OPA on license plates. How do I go? First comes up Google for meaning. Yeah, that's usually what I do. Yeah. So can I differentiate between them? No, because it's all verb. It's basically what it is that you want. Like I said, where do you see yourself a year from now? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? It is amazing how many people never think about that. That absolutely amazes me. If I ask people, I'm like, okay, so what are your goals, ambitions, and dreams? They're like, well, I'm like, you don't have any, do you? And then you wonder why you're not happy. Because if you don't know what it is that you want, then you don't know then in turn necessarily what makes you happy. So because therefore then you don't know who you are, because you don't even know simplistically what makes you happy. And I'm not talking about the regular bullshit that, oh, God and Jesus and my family makes me happy. I'm like, I'm not talking that. I'm talking like really what makes you truly happy. And I don't think people ever really think in that way or term. And I will tell you that the people that have lived the longest are the people that have goals. They know who they are and what they want. So, and you should too. Bobby, I don't really, we have one book, it's called The Crystal Bible. That's probably the best book I like because it's very factual, but I like the pictures in it too. And I'm a picture person. So I would suggest that one. That's one of my faves. So been seeing that number since grandma passed away. That's just a sign from her. So whatever that number means for her is something, it means something, but that's absolutely a sign from her. If you've seen that since she's passed, that's her way of saying hi, really. Michelle, I don't think you should be worried about a thyroid nodule necessarily. I would be asking more of like, why are you not holding your boundaries? Why are you not telling people no when you really want to tell them no, but you won't say that because you're too guilt ridden? When are you going to talk to, your partner about being vulnerable? When are you going to like be open and verbal and communicative instead of trying to solve the problem in your head and not confronting people about maybe something that they did wrong with you? That's why you have a throat nodule. You'll fix it by speaking truth, being vulnerable, and telling people no. Yeah. I think I got caught up in the career aspect, suggesting what makes you happy. Yeah, because what I tell people a lot of times, especially 19, 20, 21-year-olds, is they used to come to me all the time and say, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. I'm like, nobody does at your age. But then I'll say, screw what your mom has to say, screw what your dad has to say, screw school, screw the money, screw it all, fuck it all, like all. What could you do today or tomorrow that you think would be really fun? And they almost always tell me something. Well, I like this, but, and the but is almost always like fear of failure, fear of what my parents might say. I want to be able to fit in with everybody. So, and I got down to a point where I'm like, no, really, what makes you happy? What would be a job that would make you happy? What would you do every day that would be so much fun? And they almost always know it, but usually at that crossroads, it's usually because of their parents. Let's see, problems with not being able to get a deep breath, almost feeling like you're suffocating. Daniela, that has a lot to do with grief or a broken heart, or you're still brokenhearted over a relationship that we need to let go and move on from. So if that's the case, stop checking out what they're doing on Facebook. Stop looking at where they're at and what they're doing. Let that person go with grace. That's how you heal. So keep scratching. Will my business growth success before the end of the year? Yes, it will. And that's right there is what I want you to focus on. You're focusing on everything but that right there. You're focusing on getting this done and getting that done. I'm like, what you need to be focusing on is marketing, advertising, and promoting yourself. Yep, dad passed 2 years ago. It's the grief, honey. And it's going to take you a little bit of time to get over that one. Usually it takes you about 3 years to kind of get your head back up above water and go, okay, how the hell am I going to navigate this? So why would I have a fear of taking a break from a certain relationship? I feel like I need to grow more, but feel stuck if I don't take the break. You have to do what's best for you, not the other person. Period. Like you're not going to sit there and suffer to make somebody else happy. That is absolutely ridiculous. That you don't sacrifice your happiness for somebody else. You don't do that. You don't do that. So, but I will tell you that if you take a break from a relationship and it doesn't work out, it wasn't supposed to work out in the first place. Like, don't not do something because of the fear. I'm gonna still do it. Let's see. So some of the best crystals, like I said, are going to be rose quartz is a good one. Rhodonite is a good one. Jet, Apache tears. Those are all really good crystals for grief. They help. Do I think that we'll have an election? I don't know. That's being honest. This is going to be hands down the most dramatic, the most controversial, and the most we're not going to do things normally. Okay, I can tell you that. I know it ain't going to be normal. I don't know if we'll have one. I do not know. How can you activate more protection for your energy? Do the bubble trick. And so all I say is, God, angels, please surround me with the white light of the Holy Spirit. And when you do that, you imagine a big bubble around you or even a disco ball. That helps tremendously. It really, really does. There is a book. It's orange. And it's I can't remember what, I can see it. It's something about empathy, empath survival's guide by Judith. I don't know, Judith something. So that's a really good book. Check that book out. That's a good one. So yeah, I'm gonna answer this one. I don't have any new workshops coming because once my website goes live, I will be posting the video workshops so you can watch them on demand. So there isn't going to be any more of that. So everything will be on demand. So you can get that. But then if you purchase that, then you also get you get to watch the video. And then you also get all of the printable information with it too. Tips on working, forgiving, letting go of the man who SA'd you. Whoo-wee, Amber. That's going to take time. Counseling sessions, yes, because we got to unwind that. And I say unwind because that is trauma. And you got to be able to unbox that because all of the angles have to come out that you have to heal that. And that's not easy. But again, the best way to forgive somebody is really taking a good hard look at how that person was raised. So stuck with an elderly parent living with you, not nice, such bad energy. And Shelly, sage quite often. Yes, be there for that person, but eventually you're probably going to need some help. And so make sure that you have, your plan B and your plan C kind of figured out. And make sure that your other family is in on it too, because you shouldn't have to sacrifice all of that. So. Seeing spiral and geometric shapes during meditations. Ricky, that's a good sign. That's telling me that your clairvoyance is officially on. So you are clairvoyant. And I think people think that when you're clairvoyant, like you'll be able to see dead people with your eyeballs. It doesn't work that way. So, but you do see pictures or images in your head and you're like, I wonder where that popped up in there. So things don't pop up in there randomly. Nothing in this world is random. I pay attention to it now. So yeah, Rachel, I do that subscription program. It's going to be, I think it's going to be $19 a month, but we'll have a special rate of like $15 a month. And those are going to be called deep dive discussions. That's what I'm calling those. They're called deep dive discussions. And I'll do those once a month on a Q&A. And we're going to talk about the conspiracy theory stuff and the stuff that, again, I can't talk about on social media because I'll get blackballed. So, but I will do that in that subscription program. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. How to bubble wrap around mother-in-law who puts guilt trips and trauma dumps on you. Emily, the funny thing is, usually if they are that way, they deem you as competition with their son. And they feel like, especially now that the son is married to you, you are his number one. And if you have children, that's going to be his number two. And that then puts mom in place number three, especially if she doesn't have any friends. And if she doesn't have any friends going in, you know, as she ages, they deem their family as their friends. I'm like, no, ma'am, that's family. That's not friendship. So, I mean, it is, but it's different. So that's where I think a lot of that is coming through. Is she's scared. She's scared that you are going to receive more attention than her. And so understand that when she guilt trips and trauma dumps on you, it's because she's feeling like you're the competition. And I don't think she purposely means to do that, but that's how she is. Jen, I drove by your house. I don't say this lightly, and I don't, because I drove by that house, I drove by that area, and I have had multiple people with, as far as your neighbors are concerned, for 3 doors down both ways, that those houses have been moved into so many times and moved out of so many times. I do not know what the hell is there, but it feels like the black pit of hell. And I don't think that if you got it blessed and it escalated, get out. Time to move. I don't know what it is in Winterburn Heights there in here in Elkhorn. I don't know what it is. It's just a deep, dark pit of hell. And there have been more weird ass suicides in that spot. I'm like, I don't know what's there, but it ain't good. And I've driven by several times trying to figure it out. And after the 4th time, my guides are like, you're done. And I'm like, and when they tell me I'm done, that means for your safety and protection, you are not going back there. So that's why they said I was done. And so I know that it must be something bad if I'm even getting told no. So hate to say to move, but I don't like that area. It's the area. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's it can't be like an old Native American ground because it's not a big hill, but it's something. So, oh, Kathy, your divorce is final, small claims court mid-August. You know what? Just the biggest thing is that this is up to your lawyers and let them handle it. It's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. Let them handle it. Kind of like I said, try not to pay attention to it. I get the competitiveness. Hey, that's me. And that's why I'm like, I've even told Eric there's a few things that I'm like, I don't want to know, because if I find that out, I'll get super competitive and that doesn't work well for me. So a lot of times I'll just tell them, like, I don't want to know. Cousin died 14. When you dream, you can't see her face, just the back of her head. And that might be because she's not ready yet, or she doesn't want to talk to you, but you're a little bit more advanced than what she's maybe ready. But give that time. You'll see her again. She'll be able to turn around. Bursitis in both shoulders. That's because your daughter is literally the breadwinner of her family. And if she doesn't be the mom and the friend and the breadwinner and the dad and everybody else, her whole world falls the fuck apart. So because this girl don't have help and she's so damn stubborn, she ain't gonna ask for it either. So this means to tell me that she is burdened, heavily burdened, and doesn't want to ask for help. And she's got to start asking for help, or it's just going to get worse. Just going to get worse. Do I like anxiety meds for folks? I do. I do to a certain point. And again, anxiety is for people who swim in fear. That's what anxiety is. You're swimming in fear. So anxiety and fear are best friends. They just are. So it's really good, especially if you're early on in your spiritual development journey. Yes, I think it's necessary to keep your damn head above water. But when you get to the stage 4, or the dark night of your soul, or the shadow work period, when you get to that period, then you're going to be able to work on why you're anxiety ridden. Was it taught to you from your mother? Or is it because you had a narcissistic father? Like, where is it coming from? Why do you have it? And what are some steps that you can do to get rid of it? Right? So that's why I'm like, that it gets dealt with at a stage 4, not early on in the game. So there is nothing wrong with antidepressants, anxiety, or any other damn med. So you need them to keep your head above water until you're at a point where you can deal with the trauma itself. Right? So, Ricky, I don't know about this one. So I'll tell you what, I know that is a number. I see 144 every single day. I've seen it every single day since my journey began, since I started to go through a spiritual awakening, honestly. Now, my guides keep reminding me that it has nothing to do with 144,000 people that's in the Bible. It doesn't. I know it's something quantum, though, because Tesla always said 1, 3, 6, 9, 12, 144. There is something with it. I don't know what, though. And in the last 18 years I've been on this journey, I still can't figure it out. Still can't. Yeah. So after a while, the fear and trauma goes away, and that's when you're working in your shadow work. You're working on literally the dark side of you. You're working on the shit parts of you. That's why stage 4 is really hard, because you feel like you're just looking at yourself in a mirror constantly, and you can't get away from it. Thoughts on Bigfoot? Bigfoot exists. So do gnomes and fairies and everything else. They just live in a different dimensional realm. That's all. Meaning of constantly dreaming of a person you have little contact with. If you're still dreaming about them, it's because the ending wasn't mended, and the ending needs to be ended, I guess, if that makes any sense. So, yes, you can get carnelian in my store. Absolutely. What causes high anxiety with a 16-year-old boy? A parent that taught him that. Or a parent who has a perfectionism issue. Could be narcissism. But here's the deal. I'm never going to blame I'm never going to blame a 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old for acting the way that they do. They're only responding to their environment. So either somebody's teaching him how to be anxious, or he has to be perfect because he'll get in trouble if he doesn't. Either way, one of the two parents are screwing him up. That's where it's coming from. Heard from spirit guides, I will receive a call at 8. When will I receive that call? When the time is right. When the time is right. You don't get to control the timing, neither do I. That's called divine timing. It'll happen when it's right. And when it happens, you won't put 2 and 2 together. But after you hang up the phone, you're going to be like, wait, that was it. So, Bobby, I already did. You have to go back and watch it. So what does it mean when you see your birthday with another number? Brittany, just that's spirit's way of identifying that you're connected. That's what it is. So my birthday is October 14th. I see that number all the time, 1014, and I'll see it within other numbers too. So it's just spirit's way of letting you know that you are connected more ways than one. Do people's names carry an energy that affects them? Yes. Have you ever noticed that women sometimes change when they get married? They do, because their name changes. Therefore, the vibration of their name changes as well. That's called numerology. What was that one? Where do evil people go when they die? Heaven. Surprise. Yeah, most of them do. They got a lot of karmic debt, don't get me wrong, but most of them go to heaven. Yeah. So that's what I'm like, dead people taught me how to live life. And I'm telling you, if I'm talking to rapists and murderers and some of the worst people that we deem evil here on earth, if I'm talking to them in heaven, I don't know what the hell you're worried about. After me talking to them, I ain't worried about shit. Like, is heaven real? Yep. Does everybody get sent to hell? Nope. Nope. Might scare the shit out of you a little bit, but no, no. They do that to, well, keep people in church, paying money. Can't talk too much about that, but we will. So, how do you find your soulmate and when? When you're ready. But it's when you've worked on you, because let's be real. You'd want to meet somebody when you've done a lot of work on yourself, because you meet somebody vibrationally equivalent to you. You don't want to meet a soulmate and then go work on yourself. It's not going to work. You vibrationally, you'll be out. So where do people who commit suicide go? Guess what? They go to heaven too. Yeah. It to keep the fear going with everybody. They're always like, oh no, you're going to go to hell. No, you don't. No, you don't. You go to, a lot of times in heaven, there's like a hospital setting. So there's a hospital setting up there that you'll go check out. So, but a lot of the negative things are, they're more human made, because remember, I don't think people understand how powerful we are with our thoughts. So if I sit there and say, oh, look at my gremlin. Oh, isn't it a cute little gremlin? After a while, you're going to start seeing a gremlin, because I am bringing it into existence. And if I get you to see it, well, then other people are going to start seeing it, because it's only bringing it more energy and more vibration. Therefore, it can then manifest. So that's how all of those things started. So, but like I said, just understand that you don't have to worry about it. It's just something to keep you, again, full of fear. And that's where I'm like going, now don't get me wrong, does Satan exist? Does the devil exist? Oh yeah, yeah. But again, you're not going to meet the son of a bitch unless you want to, and you're giving him permission. So let's not, shall we? So like I said, I've never had, I talk to dead people all the time. I don't talk to ghosts. I'd prefer not to, because they're assholes. But like I said, yeah, you don't have to worry about a damn thing. So you don't. They do that a lot because they want to keep people in church. That's why there's so much fear. And after talking with dead people for 10 years consistently, I think more people are scared of the pain of dying, not actually dying itself. So I'm like, don't sweat it, really. 16-year-old is attached to the family dog. Any insight on this? Jessica, they probably had a previous life together, and that'll happen again. That, like I said, if that dog crosses over, he'll wait a while, he'll get another one, and that dog will come back around again. Almost always. If you're having trouble remembering your dreams, don't worry about it, Shirley. So there's going to be times where you remember a lot and then you won't at all. And that's okay. That's just how your brain is either processing, dealing with trauma. There's a lot of different reasons why brains do what they do, but don't sweat it. Like I said, you'll remember them when you need to remember them. So this is a good question. Difference between a ghost and a dead person. Good question. A dead person checked into heaven. A ghost hasn't. That's what I think purgatory is. A ghost. Because yeah, you're living, you're existing, but you're not in heaven, you're not in hell, you're just there on a different dimensional plane. That's what I think purgatory is. So, but dead people at least checked into heaven. I'm like, all right, cool, we can chat. So, but ghosts are usually lost, or they don't know where they're at, or that they even died half the time. How do you know what your aura is? Honestly, it doesn't really freaking matter. Your aura is like a mood ring. Guess what? Changes with your mood. It does. Usually it's going to be one color standard wise. But like I said, it changes just like a mood ring. You get angry, it changes. Non-alcoholic liver disease. Christy, that's anger. Pure anger. You're angry. Very angry. Ashton, look into the Rife machine. I know Jason Ott, OTT, he's got one. So look into that. Rob is asking why you've been seeing the numbers 1111. Hey, congrats, Rob. You are going through a spiritual awakening, and that's why you're seeing it. So that's why you're seeing it. Let's see. What? Was that John Edwards said that the Vatican list? Yes, there is a list to watch out for. That psychics and mediums are the number 5 on the list. So, oh yeah, we know that because, like I said, I don't talk to I talk to dead people all the time, but yeah. Let's see here. Does a spiritual awakening ever end? No. So, like I said, I ultimately you want to get to stage 6, which is what Jesus Christ came to earth, incarnated here to show us. Be like, listen, guys, it can be done. Here's what you got to do it. That's why he's a master teacher or ascended master. Ascended, hint, hint, ascended. So he went full nirvana or rainbow bodied. So, and yeah, it's possible, but he's got to, yeah. So, Heather, if you guys all had that same dream, that has everything to do with your abandonment issue with your biological dad. That's you guys are all going to have that, and that dream in specific is dealing with an open wound of an abandonment issue that you haven't closed yet. And you might not even know it's an issue, but when you really start looking into it, you'll begin to see. How do you get rid of plantar fasciitis, Tori? Go with the flow more. You're stiff, you're rigid, you like things a certain way, and you don't like change, and that's why you have plantar fasciitis. What does it mean when you see sparkles above the head, Kim? Usually it could be parts of their aura. It could be sometimes their spirit guides. Sometimes it could be angels too. So, Son struggles with water and going under in the pool. Previous life issue, hands down. Hands down. What's the point of astral traveling? So your soul can leave the body, because remember, your soul is eternal, your body isn't. And so we get kind of bored being in a body in this reality. So we like to astral travel and snoop around. Jill, your recovery should be fine. It should be fine. So just like I said, give yourself extra time just in case. So, you could change your name, but like I said, usually if somebody has horrible luck their entire life, it's because they were raised in trauma. They don't know your perspective is a burnt perspective, and we got to get you out of that perspective, which is hard. Crystals to help kiddos sleep in their own bed. Black tourmaline is a good one. So is rose quartz. And I will tell you that dream catchers do work. Usually what I tell moms is tell them that they can sleep on the floor next to you, but they can't sleep in your bed, but they can sleep on the floor next to you. And eventually you can kind of slowly start to scoot them out. Damn it. These go fast. Hang on. So do all illnesses have something to do with trauma within the body or past family issue? Both. Heidi, you are going to find out. You'll be able to find that out here by the end of the year, I think, too. Stage 4 cancer in father-in-law can't find origin. Yeah, he needs a full-blown MRI or a way to look at that. You'll be able to see it, but depends on where it's at now sometimes. you can be able to figure out, trace it back. Mm-hmm. Remember closing, hang on. I remember choosing to come back. I asked how, if I know it's you. I asked how, will I know it's you to someone I don't know if I've met them yet? And you might not right out the gate. I think that that's something that is falsified and glorified, and I don't think that's necessarily true. So 11-year-old grandson wetting the bed. There's only two reasons why a kid at that age still wets the bed. Number one, they were sexually assaulted or molested and they haven't come out of the closet with that yet. Or number two, they have an overbearing father. I see that a lot with military kids. So, because their dad is like, do it now. So it's just very demanding, commanding, militant. Kids are extremely attached to me after their dad's passing. Any way to help them? No, give them time. They need you. Give them time. They're going to be extra clingy. Give them time. They're going to want to know what time you're coming home. Answer them. So that is a massive sudden abandonment issue. And they are scared to death that that's going to happen to you too. So you just need to reassure them. You need to constantly console them and let them know that you are not going anywhere. And it is a-okay at this point to talk about, hey, if something does happen to me, here's where I want to go this is where I want to be buried. This is what's going to happen. So that way it's really, they don't wonder the what if. They know. So if you have abandonment issues, people act like they care about, and then they leave you knowing that you have abandonment issues. Why? Because that is your number one lesson to learn here on earth, is that you don't need anyone for your happiness. And if they want to leave and they want to walk out your door, you have to let them go gracefully and not take it personally. That's your lesson to learn while you're here. It's one hell of a lesson. So what if the kid wets the bed at 13 and there's no essay or overbearing father? I guarantee it. So, yeah. Or it could be the mother is overbearing. I mean, it could be that, but usually it's going to be one of those two at that age. Hang on. Are there a finite number of souls? That's hard to answer because it's quantum. And the reason why I say that's hard to answer is that you also have to take into accountability plants and animals too. So, because they're technically living things too. So that's a hard one for me to answer. Daughter's son is constantly soiling his pants at 9. That would be why. It's usually sexual assault. So, yep, it's usually that's going to be the problem. So, and I will tell you, call CPS. I don't give a shit if it's your own family. Call them. Because if you notice something is even a little off, I would rather have you call and get somebody there on their doorstep and you be wrong than you not call anybody and you were right. Because it takes a village to raise children. If you see something with a child, fucking say something. That's our due diligence as parents, is that we're supposed to look out for other people's kids too. And if we start doing that as a community, it's only going to help the children. So that's where I'm like, if you see something wrong, freaking say it, because God forbid, like I said, so what if you're wrong? As a mother and CPS shows up and somebody called on behalf of me, I'm not taking that personally. At least somebody's watching out outside of me for my children. How is that a bad thing? It's not. And if you take it personally, well, then maybe there's a reason why you should take it personally, because maybe you are not doing well with raising your children. So, but at the same time, like I said, if you see something, call CPS, call them. If you got a 12-year-old who's still shitting himself in class, there's a problem. Something's going on. And it's amazing how many people won't report it. And I'm like, because they don't want to get involved. They don't want to get involved in a sticky situation. Well, I don't want to ruin the relationship that I'm building. I'm like, so the kid's life doesn't matter? So your reputation, your feelings about this other person matters more than that child? That doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't. So, like I said, but almost always that's the problem. And sometimes it is biological, meaning that, your bladder is like a fourth of the size that it should be. You bet. I get that too. So, I'll talk about this one quick. Thoughts on the first love and having a deep connection with the person after 4 decades. That means to tell me that you guys were together in a previous life and it probably wasn't supposed to work out in this one. That's why. Why did the man who took part in almost killing you contact you? Maybe because he's trying to heal that trauma. Maybe he's trying to apologize. There's a lot of different reasons why. So I would give him the benefit of the doubt and hear him out, though. I wouldn't have any hope or expectation, but I would still listen to what they have to hear what they have to say. So it's okay. I don't fit in professionally either. I don't do professional very well. I don't care. I don't care. Damn it. Neighbor insists somebody's knocking on her side of the garage door. Haven't heard, seen anything. Any thoughts? She might have a ghost, but it might not be a bad idea to get a trail cam there for some reason. It needs to be videoed. I don't know why, but it needs to be videoed. Do you always carry small pieces of trauma forever? Yeah. In a weird way, I always think trauma, it's really almost into your DNA. It's really hard to deal with the trauma. So, it just takes time. So, but yeah, parts of it, I do think go with you forever. You bet. So why do you get dizzy when going to public places and lightheaded? You need to ground. So I have a grounding pendant. So whenever I deal with public, I'm wearing my grounding pendant all the time. So I have it with me a lot. So it really helps me to keep my energy to myself. It doesn't make my energy go far out and feel everybody else's. So I'm really keep my stuff close, and I try not to read people, and I don't tap in at all. Does he visit? Oh, all the time. And so whenever you see a prism, you're going to see that he's around. So absolutely. Will you get your answers to things that you've been waiting on to get answered anytime soon? Yes. But if it's a decision, Susie, no. Because you're asking for them to decide for you. They can't do that. So if you're asking for clarity, they can. But they can't make your decisions for you. That's a big no-no. Nope. So will you be able to ever quit your job and focus on school and your business? No, you have to do both. For now, you have to do both, but how bad do you want it? So I had to do it too. I was a single mom living in a trailer, working 9 to 6 every single day, Monday through Friday. And then I would feed the kids, bathe them, read them their bedtime story, put them to bed. And I would do a reading. I would have them come over to my house and I would do a reading from 9:30 till about 10:30, went to bed, did the same thing. And then on the weekends, I would do parties. It's like, I didn't want to live that life. And this was my opportunity to get out of where I was at. And so you're damn right I took that opportunity, but it means that I had to hustle double time. It's a stupid myth or a fucking fantasy to think that you're just gonna, I'm just gonna miraculously know my purpose and everything's just gonna flow to me with my purpose and I'll be able to quit my full-time job and I'll be able to do my purpose. I'm like, that is such bullshit. That is not reality. That is not how any of this works. It doesn't. You have to be willing to put in the effort. Hint, effort. Meaning that you have to have a daytime job and then you're working at nighttime on your passions, on your projects, on those goals, on bettering yourself. That's what we're doing. We still live in a 3D world, even though we're going to 5D. And until monetary things change, we are stuck in that system. And that's the system, that's the game that you have to play, unfortunately. But again, you have an opportunity. That's what it's called. So with just as much effort, focus on your opportunity. But yeah, that means that you're not going to be able to go out on a Saturday night. Like you have to give up your weekends to get your dream. And I did that for years on end, but that's how I'm able to get what I've got. I had to sacrifice and balance and do what I needed to do. So that's why I'm like, yeah, it's going to be successful depending on your consistent effort. And it's consistency more than it is anything else. Consistency. Hey, don't want to keep my son healthy. He doesn't like to talk about his feelings about his dad, death by suicide. That's okay. That's okay. He has his own opinion. He has his own ideas, and that's okay. He will come to you when he wants to talk to you about it. He will. I was born 2 days after Mercury retrograde. Am I going to hit hard during the Mercury retrograde? No. If you were born in a Mercury retrograde is like, why is everybody all being crazy and their shit's on fire? It ain't that big of a deal. I'm like, yeah. Is a name change worth it? Let's just say this. I made sure to look at the vibrational frequency of my names from Kelly Miller to Kelly Miller Apps or Kelly Apps. Which one vibrationally is going to be the best for me? My professional business, vibrationally, Kelly Miller. My married name, Kelly Miller Apps. When I added the apps, I became more adventurous, meaning that we like to travel together. And I became more intuitive along with that. So it was a good idea for me to go into Kelly Miller Apps. But if I went back to just Kelly Apps, it would have been way too logical and confined. So that's why I'm like I said, get your numerology chart out with the Pythagorean chart, Google, and then figure out what the vibration is. Is chastiolite great for protection and grounding? Especially protection, yes. I forget about chastiolite and spiritually protecting you. So because chastiolite has a cross on it, literally, each piece has a cross on it. And so chastiolite is a very big protector of spiritual stuff. So if you're trying to channel or do meditations or do mediumship work, chastiolite's a really good protector from stuff. Does the middle name matter? Your original birth name matters. All of them, the middle letters too. So, because my original is Kelly Ann Hansen. So that name is an 11-2 as well. So not only am my life purpose an 11-2, my name is also that. So. Had 2 moldavite, both jumped within 2 months. That's too high for you. So not ready for that crystal yet. That's why, Keith. So it's a little too high vibey for now. So, so you're a 33-6, Annette. Then you are everybody's counselor and teacher. So, yep. The search engine that I use, Brave. It's called Brave. I do not use Google. So it's slanted. It's bought. So I don't use Google. So I use Brave. Now, some things, basic things like I was talking about Pythagorean stuff earlier. Yeah, I'll use Google for that. But if I want conspiracy theory shit, I use Google. They'll hide it. They don't have it. So. Will past pain from people go away and I find peace again, trying to move forward with what time you have left? Absolutely. Yep. And like I said, just it's it it's not going to be even energy exchange, then we got to move on. And a lot of times it's just because you outgrew them. So I don't have a numerology app or a website. I just, like I said, just use Google. So this is normal, Teresa. Can you help me with solution for symptoms of depression and lack of motivation to do basic tasks? Yes. Okay, so a couple of things. Number one, when you're in this zone, understand that depression lives in the solar plexus. So that's also known as the fire chakra. It's yellow in color. So you need sunlight, you need usually it's a magnesium deficiency, so an Epsom salt bath is highly recommended. And on the days that you can only do the basic tasks, do those basic tasks, but only do 3 things. So for that day, write down 3 things that must get done. Because here's the deal. If you get 4 things done at the end of the day, you're going to feel like a freaking winner. So even though you're thinking 3 things, some days we can only get 3 things done, right? So do those, just write down at the very beginning of the day, these are the 3 things that I have to get done. Again, if you get 5 or 6 or 7 of those things done, you're a winner. So these are the 3 things that I have to do tomorrow, right here, just 3. Right there, 3 things. That's it. 3 things. I do those 3 things. Now, if I, like today, I made dinner. Hey, that's 4 things. And I did an extra load of laundry. There's 5 things. And I was able to do something else that Alika was asking for, and it wasn't on my list. So technically, I did 6 things today. So that's big for me. I'm like, hey, that's a reward for Kelly. That's a good day. Now, on the days that I only get 3 things done, it's not a wasted day. I'll just do better tomorrow. So I used to really beat myself up over this, but I realized it's my ADHD and that's how my brains work. Okay, fine. So same with you. If we know that we're having an off day and we don't have a lot of motivation out there, well, then we're going to write down the 3 things that we have to do for that day. Because again, do the 4th thing, you're going to feel like a winner. You're going to feel like a winner. So, and again, a little bit of exercise, even though you don't want to do it, just go for a walk. I'm not saying, because I think when people hear the word exercise, they're like, oh, I'm like, time out, time out. I'm not going to a fucking gym, okay? I'm not a gym rat. So, but I will go grab my dog and go for a damn walk, because I know if I don't walk, I'm not going to sleep that good. So that's where, like I said, I've learned that I get those 3 things done. And if I get more done, I'm a winner. Because I know I got a lot of stuff done today. So I'm going to bed feeling pretty damn good about myself. So really, that sounds simple, but that's how it is. So, but like I said, there's no point of beating yourself up over that. I used to do that all the time, and I realized it's not me, it's my executive dysfunction. It's just how my brain is. So I've just learned to just do 3 things and we're good. We're good. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to take a break. Now, tomorrow I don't have anything. Wednesday, I have a live sale. And the live sale, it starts at 7. And I got all new stuff. So it's all stuff that's not even on the floor. And then I believe Thursday, I have an Angels and Spirit Guides workshop. So if that's something that you're wanting to check out, yeah, it's on Eventbrite. I'll post it again on my Facebook account too. But it's on Eventbrite. So if you guys want to learn about Angels and Spirit Guides, we also do a guided meditation as well. So may want to look into that. That's also recorded as well. But like I said, other than that, like August, I think every Monday I'm having a live crystal sale, but I got a lot of good things that I got to tell you, but I can't freaking talk about it yet because my website isn't done. But I've like got 3 big announcements. And this one, after I broke my foot, I knew the minute I broke my foot, I knew why. I knew the emotion. I knew it. And I'm like, okay, that got answered for me. I'm out. And I'm like, well, if I'm not doing that, what the hell am I doing? And then I got to thinking about it. I'm like, no, if I'm at this point, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And I'm like, all right, God, that was Monday. God, this is what I want to do. Make that happen. I'll do it. That's how I'm going to share it with the world. Let's do it. Wednesday, I got a phone call. Hey, Cal. I'm like, you're kidding me. You are kidding me right now. And I'm like, I literally just said, okay, God, let's do it. I'm in. I'm here to serve. Let's do it. Let's go. What you got? This is what I'm thinking. I want to go in this direction. You give me the opportunity, I'll go in. Opportunity showed up. I'm like, I'm in. It ain't too good to be true. I asked for it on Monday. I got it Wednesday. I'm like, yeah, there's no, and a matter of fact, number two, there was no hesitation with this. I'm just like, dude, I'm in. He's like, well, I'm like, I'm in. Let's go. So I got that opportunity that I want to talk to you about. Got the subscription. I got Enlightenment Academy. I got all this shit. I'm like, you understand. I got a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. So super excited about all the stuff that's coming. It's just, I've been waiting for this the reason why I'm saying this is because I've been truly waiting on this for the last 5 years. Like, it's fucking happening. Ugh! Like all of the hard work that I've been doing, all of the late nights, all the weekends, all the family events I missed, it's coming. It's finally, the sacrifices are on the way. I'm like, let's go. I'm in. I'm so excited. So, but I can't say it yet. So, but I want to. So, but like I said, I might do some more pop-up videos. I have also been working on more videos. So you guys are going to see some more videos. I literally this weekend, I went to Okoboji, took a little mini break, and I figured out how to edit videos. So that was pretty cute because my kids were all making fun of me. I'm like, you know, that's funny. Your mama's damn near 50 years old and neither one of you know how to edit videos, do you? And they're like, no. I'm like, so I have a 12-year-old. I have literally Jessica's daughter, Lily, teaching me how to do CapCut and do this. I'm like, got it figured out. I'm like, oh, see, your 50-year-old mother's learning new tricks and you don't even know how to edit videos. That's cute. So I'm like, they'll be laughing at me. I'll be laughing at you when you don't know how to do this shit. Yes. So next Enlightenment Academy, by the way, Brenda, is going to be in October. It was in August. I moved it just because they can't find it on my website. So it's fine. I just moved it to October. So yeah. And then, oh yeah. And also in October, I will be at oh shit. I just thought of something. Oh, well, I'll have to fix it. Yeah, the fish that I caught, that was another fun one. They're like, oh, we're not going to catch walleye today. It's not cloudy. It's not windy. I'm like, do you not know me? Oh, nice to meet you. Hey, I manifest shit. So I said, tell you what, I'm going to get a good 14, 15 incher here, a good 4 or 5 pounder. I said, I'll reel that in. They're like, oh, that's cute. I'm like, I looked at Eric. I'm like, mm-hmm. So guess who caught all the fish? This girl right here. I had 2 poles going at once like this. And I'm like, oh, it's okay, Eric. We can trade. So then I went to the back. He went to the front. Guess who was catching? I was still catching fish. And this guy is looking at me like, what the hell? And I'm like, I told you I'd catch the most. So, and then I went back up to the front. And then I'm like, oh no, this one right here. This one's going to be the whopper. And they're like, really? And when I went to go pull it in, it took off and tugged. I'm like, get the net. And they're like, no way. I'm like, and so when I pulled it in, it was exactly what I said it was going to be. Babe, how big was that fish? How big was the walleye?
Like 26.
26 incher, baby. I'm like, here, fishy. It was fun. So, but I've never been to Okoboji, and I did not realize how pretty the water was and how, like, there's no wake out there, but beautiful water. I mean, you can look down and see all the fish and the plants and stuff. So yeah. So did I eat it? No, because I didn't want to fillet it and then cook it because we were just on Airbnb. So nah, we didn't. But it was exciting. It was good. So, okay, guys, I will let you go. And like I said, if you're interested, I might see you on the live here on Wednesday. Otherwise, that Thursday, I do have the Angels and Spirit Guides workshop that you can find on Eventbrite. So, okay, guys, have a good afternoon. Like I said, ground, meditate. I'm still not people in a whole lot. I'm still kind of keep and chill. But at least I'm able to go out in public a little bit more this week, right? So, all right, guys, take care. Have a wonderful week ahead.